Love can't hide so much conflict, even at 4:44 in the morning. Let my chair turn around, let it roll, cause I'm in control. Friday night on 56, light a match, yeah we lit. Give her what she worked for, but I ain't promising no promises. She took me to the back room, gave me what I wanted, then she looked back. Ooh, let the games roll, then she looked down. I'm in control.
What in the world did we get ourselves into? What is that? Why is there a hole? Why'd you have to get your motor out of your car, Riley?
They took lessons from the Evo.
I'm a killer on the loose, got my gun now. I'm a killer on the loose, I'm a beast man. I'm a killer on the loose, got my gun now. I'm a killer on the loose.
What happened, bud?
I need help, Mom!
What do you got there?
Early.
Let me close the door so the horse can't come out. What do you have? What are you doing? What day is it today?
Blow your back out.
Oh yeah, you had a bad back today too.
We have the box of fun.
Now we gotta take them apart, see what's in there so we can show everyone.
Oh yeah.
Probably means we should get the table out.
Probably.
Yeah, it's the table day.
It's the table day. I'm winded from carrying that. That's how you know you got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, see this is what we call the Dan killer.
Okay, that's one way to put it.
For those of you that remember seeing Dan's Series White STI on the channel, these two have a little rivalry going on.
Yeah, a little friendly bout going on.
And I know Dan watches the channel, so this is the Dan killer package.
Let's get at it, little son.
Let's see if you got the driver mod to back it up, because you're gonna need it, Dan. But we're gonna get these things all out, show you exactly what we picked up for this thing, and a lot of you are gonna be able to relate to this setup. And you all know we're gonna put a kill map on it. Duh. That's what we're going to the track with. Let's see if this little stock turbo can go 11s on a stock motor. Maybe even faster. Probably 11s. I don't think it's gonna go much faster than that. Not in a full weight car.
Oh,
So-
we can make that change though. I mean, that's easy enough. A few bolts, some seats. Oh wait, Dan watches this.
Yeah, no. Full weight.
We can cut that out though, right? There we go, ruin the plan.
Ruin the plan. Let's get these things out of this box. Ah, Jesus, I can't even pick one up the box. So we're gonna get these laid out, show you guys what we got. Ta-da!
Just what the doctor ordered.
What do you got? You gonna
Gloves.
tell us all about it?
I got some gloves.
What package do we have here?
Package full bolt-ons.
Stage 3. So guys, we got everything laid out on the table here, as you guys probably saw most of the way in the intro anyways. But let's start out in this corner over here. Starting out, we have a set of IAG TGV Deletes. These are their new V2 Deletes. I'm really hoping that these are gonna fit properly. I know we had an issue with the last set that we had with some of the first versions needing pneumatic spacers to clear the fuel rail onto the ABCS solenoid. So hopefully we don't have that issue with these, since these are probably one of the first sets that had come out. We'll see when we get these on. Moving over, we have a Grimmspeed VF series block off for your wastegate. This is important for any time you go external wastegate on the stock turbo. You need this to block off the factory wastegate on the turbo. So we got that to block that off. Obviously we got a set of the IAG billet fuel rails here. So these are a really nice piece. Moving over to another Grimmspeed part, we have their boost controller. Obviously another much needed part for this car to be external wastegate. And we have obviously some fuel system mods over here. We have an AEM fuel pump. This is a 340 E85 pump because we do plan on going to ethanol fuel. And another set of these beautiful FIC injectors here. These are 2150s, and you guys can already guess why we want that big, right?
We got plans in the future.
We got plans, so we might as well buy the biggest one they have there, so that way we can have bigger plans in the future. So we got 2150s here. We have an IAG fuel line kit for those beautiful fuel rails. We have obviously Grimmspeed as the uppipe that we always use for external wastegate. This is a 44 mil. Obviously, like we said, we had plans in the future. We want to use that 44 mil wastegate. So we went ahead and just bought it the first time with this uppipe and their dump tube. So we have that, all their bolts, hardware, everything that we need. And went ahead, talked Riley into doing a clutch right now. This is an ACT Extreme Duty Street. This is the same clutch that we have in Series Gray right now, and I'm sure he's really happy about that.
Definitely.
Seeing as your stock clutch decided she don't want to hang no more.
Yeah.
So
a little bit too many pulls, I think.
So we got brand new clutch to go ahead and knock that out. That does mean we are going to be pulling this engine today. So we are going to have fun-filled long day. Moving over, we have an IAG air oil separator. This has the #1 part I always tell you guys to put on your car. This is a competition series, the only one we ever use. We never use a street version. Get that gunk out of there, don't put it back in your engine with the competition series. We have a COBB Flex fuel kit here with their added on fuel pressure sensor. This is a nice fail safe to have, and to be able to monitor that fuel pressure at all time on your access port. So definitely a piece I would suggest to put onto your Flex fuel kit that you buy. We have a beautiful Aeromotive regulator right here with an IAG fuel pressure gauge. So this will be a nice touch to that. Obviously we already have a sensor here. We'll have another gauge there. Make for all the gauges, right? Then we have our boys over here, Torque Solution air pump deletes. No reason to have that thing on the car no more, so let's get out of our way. We got the delete plates there, and we have the tile 44mm wastegate here. Went ahead and went with the black version. Like I said, this is so we have room to grow in the future. Normally I wouldn't do a 44mm on a stock turbo. It's not that it's a bad thing, it's just overkill. You don't really need it, but since we have plans in the future, that's what we're going to use on this thing. For those of you that want me to touch on that subject, usually anything really stock location, you don't really need anything bigger than a 38mm, to be honest with you. So this will be for our plans in the future. That hints away at it. We have all these parts laid out here. We have a fairly stock car here. I mean, it's been stage 2 since what?
1,200 miles after I bought it.
It's got how many miles on it now?
Just shy of 1,500 or 15,000.
So
a while.
This is for all you guys that say that COBB maps don't work too, because this is on an OTS COBB map its entire life. He does race it, launch it.
Yep.
Never had a problem with the car. We do have our boys ETS, their intake on the car as well. But he's never had an issue, and it just goes to show, if you guys take care of your car, treat it right, and you know, like I always say, a car will treat you how you treat it. So if you do that, you're not gonna have any issues with it lasting. And he hasn't had a single problem.
Keep up on your maintenance, you know, doing regular oil changes.
Yep.
Basic necessities, man, that keep it ticking.
That thing was on a COBB Stage 2 map up until recently as well, guys, and we don't care. We send it. We put on the highest COBB Stage 2 map there is, high wastegate. That one I just switched over to one of Steve's map. I finally got around to doing it. We just put a kill map on that thing. It's just a Stage 2 car, but I'll tell you what, she's a ripper. You want to come catch it, Dan? I gotta give him shit. I'm sure he's gonna just text me the moment he sees this video and be like, what the hell? So
it's motivation,
yeah.
Man. Use it as motivation.
Enjoy the rivalry, guys. If you got a friend, you'll find in the car scene and the racing world, it is 10 times more fun if you have someone to rival and push yourself. Because I mean, if you're just pushing yourself, yes, that works, but you'll be pushed 10 times harder if you have someone else you're trying to compete with, and it just makes it fun. Yeah. I know they're just having fun. We give them shit. You know, my old rival no longer wants to be my rival. So I don't got any rivals. I have to live for these guys that do. So we are gonna get this thing all started out. Riley's gonna help me. We're gonna get this thing up in the air. We have to get that stupid undershield off of this thing. He does have it on. He lives on a dirt road, so it is kind of nice to have that piece in there. Obviously, it doesn't help too much in his engine bay, no. Showing how freaking dirty it is, pal.
Yeah, yeah.
But good thing we got a solution for that. We are going to be doing an engine bay detail on this thing, and some of you I saw in the comments asked how to do it. So if you watch the whole video, you'll figure out how to do it. This thing, we do need to get it up in the air. Like I said, get that under tray off. We'll start draining the coolant, and then from there, always start out with unhooking your battery. We're going to get that out of here, out of the way, since we're going to already be working in here and pulling the motor. Anyway, so this will be kind of step by step. I'll try to walk you through the best I can now that I have Riley to help here and continue to pull the car apart with me. Let's take a look at the time of starting today. It is 10:09, so we're gonna be pulling this thing apart in a different manner. It's not that we're just gonna rush it and pull the engine out of the car. We're just gonna pull it apart in the car and then pull the bare long block out, put the clutch on it and put it back in and start reassembling. So 10:09 a.m. I do believe we are gonna use all of today because we do have to build those fuel lines. We do have a lot of odds and ends to put on this car. So let's see if we can get this thing all finished up by the end of today and he can drive his car home. So let's get to work. We got a ton to do. Let's do it. Starting out, let's go ahead and grab one of those boxes that your new parts just came in. We're going to use this to put all our bolts in, throw them all in the box, that way they don't get lost, misplaced, and then we'll go ahead and grab them out of here. I know a lot of you may not be that comfortable with that, but that's how we are going to start today. And what in the heck are you doing?
Hey dude, I don't want to screw up the audio. I gotta wait, you know.
Just,
okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Full send.
It's ruined.
All right.
We're already done.
Okay.
Let's go.
They tell us that a change is gonna come, but I wonder when the change is gonna actually come. Yeah. Praying to the Lord, will it ever stop? So many lives lost to some crooked cops. We got 2 hands up, but we still shot. Then we ride in the streets and we looting shops. We tearing down our homes, even beauty shops. Glass plastered, yeah, that's ass backwards. We might end it.
Got this thing up in the air, as you guys saw. We did get the intake out and the battery out of here. So next up we need to do is get this intercooler out of our way, get that downpipe off. So Riley's gonna get that knocked out. I'm gonna start knocking out the intake manifold pole. I'm gonna go into this briefly again. I know I've already created a video, but we do have a lot of new subscribers, so I'm gonna go ahead, walk us through this so that way we can see how to get this intake manifold off. And we're gonna talk about how to get this all cleaned up today as well. I've seen a lot of comments about that. How do we get rid of all this crap, make it look completely clean? So we're gonna be going into that today. And also, I see another thing that everyone always asks about, and that is, where do you jack up from? So looking under here, and I'm trying to see if the camera's picking this up, but if you look at your oil pan here, there's a spot right in the center. That is the jack point that I use. I do put the jacks on the spot, or the pinch welds in the back. I have put them on behind the control arm there. There's a brace. So for those of you that are wondering, that is what it is. Quick brief view on that. And I do believe we're gonna have to check the motor mount nuts on this. Obviously we're pulling the motor out anyways, but if you take a look at it, it is not sitting flat in here anymore. It definitely has the driver's side up, which is very common with Subarus because that's the side that torques up. So I'm curious what we're gonna find in there. I think it's just gonna be the motor mount nuts are loose, because that's a common issue with anything 2018 and newer, mainly 2019 and newer, that the factory left those nuts a little bit loose or really loose, and it could have shifted in the subframe over as it torqued. So we will update you guys on what we find, and we do need to get this radiator drain. So let's start with that first.
And you don't understand. You told Captain Stan, go and make another plan. It's an American. The president supported by the clan. I can't stand a man. When we looting, then they start shooting. And he promotes violence as the only solution. They say a change gon' come. Well, when the change gon' come? It feels like they hang us for fun. They tell us that it's over, but it's only begun.
Thankfully, having someone else help me today, I can go ahead and show you guys more information. As Riley's getting this top mount off of here, tip for you guys, go ahead and leave the coupler on the throttle body. Leave this guy tight here, just loosen this side of it, and obviously loosen your turbo clamp down there. You'll unbolt this from the intercooler on the newer models. We could go ahead and just unclip them right here since we're gonna pull them out, but this way works too. We're gonna take that off anyways, and then I'll show you guys this later. You need to take off the bolts on each side of the intercooler, and you need to take your 2 bolts out of your blow-off valve right here. What Riley's doing is he's pulling that actual bracket all the way out of there. This is gonna help you guys a ton, having that out of your way. And then what you'll do is you're gonna move this thing back and out of the throttle body. So I'll try to help him one-handed, but we'll move it out of the throttle body coupler. I'm probably not helping that much. Yep, slide her out. And once it gets out, you're gonna angle up. Yep, keep her going. This car hasn't been apart, guys, since it had 200 miles on it, so this will be relatable. So now that he's got it out of there, he's gonna go ahead and twist up and out that way. Yep, there you go. Now go like that and up and out. Boom. That's how you get your intercooler out. Since we are going pretty far with this car, there is going to be some steps that you guys are not going to have to do, since we're going ahead and pulling the engine to do that clutch, because it makes sense. We're going to have a bare long block in here. It takes only like another 10-15 minutes to pull the motor out, change out the clutch, and put it back in. So it makes all the sense to go ahead and do it now. That's why I made him get a clutch, which definitely was a good idea now, looking ahead.
Yeah.
So now that he's got that off, I'm going to have him start getting that downpipe out of here. And while he's getting that downpipe out of our way, we're going to start working on this intake manifold. So for those of you wondering, and starting with the basics here on how to get your downpipe out, obviously there would be a shield here. This being a stage 2 car, it does not have a shield because, well, screw those shields. We have 14 millimeter nut on one side, bolt on the other. The rest are going to be nuts. He's going to go ahead and get those off of there. Downpipe will come off. We're going to get this bracket out of our way. Starting from there, we do need to unbolt our pitch stop mount, since we're going to be raising the engine up when we pull it. So there's going to be a lot of steps here on what we need to do. I got the radiator draining right now. We're going to keep letting this drain, otherwise when we pull this hose off, it's going to piss everywhere. And everybody knows how expensive super coolant is, and we don't really want to go get more of that today. So we're going to use what's in it because there's no reason not to. And starting out with getting this intake manifold off, we are going to get the front of the engine here tore apart, and that will give us access to a lot of our wiring clips. So let's get this 10 millimeter bolt out of here, get this cover off, then we'll start getting our alternator out of here, and I'll show you guys those steps. Riley's going to go ahead and show us. So he's getting that 10 millimeter out of there. Minor difficulties.
Definitely tight.
Yep. So here we go. Yeah, she's definitely tight. So I only have one 10 millimeter bolt on that side. Cover's going to come off like so. Just go ahead and wiggle her up and out. Boom. You have a little rubber grommet right there, so sometimes it makes it hard to get that out of there. Then moving over to our alternator, we have a little pinch clip right here. I'm gonna go ahead, pinch that guy. That'll give us access to a 12 millimeter nut there. And I think he still has a 12. So being careful when you pull up on here, there is a lock washer. So what I like to do is take the nut off, pull the lock washer off with your finger. Don't drop the nut down the back of the alternator like pro mechanic here did. God damn it, Riley. Good thing we're pulling your engine apart.
Gotta make it interesting, yo.
So we'll pull the washer off. Normally I put the bolt and washer back on the alternator, but well, we don't have a nut anymore because
your theory's good if you can keep the nut.
Butterfingers over here decided to send it down the block.
Nah.
Alright, now that we got that off, we do have a wiring clip right here. So we have a push style clip. You will go ahead, push that in. I might have to have Riley do this since I got one hand. So push style clip on the alternator. Unplugs it. Then on this tabs here, you don't want to break these. On the back side, they have a little pin. So you'll grab a flathead or your fingernail, pull up. I'm so used to these damn things, I just use my fingernail. Same deal on that one. Well, that one's definitely glued in there more. Ah, there probably went the fingernail. Told you that one was in there.
Definitely.
It wasn't just me, I swear, guys. Look at, there we go. Unplug our AC, and then we're gonna sit that to the side for now. That's out of our way. Now, while he's going down there, I'm gonna start knocking this out. We got a 12 millimeter bolt right there on the alternator. That's gonna loosen the alternator. This is our actual adjustment. In the result of that, we do need to go ahead, loosen the other side here. This is actually what it pivots on, so we need to loosen that, loosen this, and then drop it down with the adjustment to get this belt off there. So let me go ahead, grab a 12, and I'll do that. So Riley's down there making a whole racket. I went ahead and show you guys my little trick there of using the flathead on the AC compressor. Turn the crank, pull the belt off, comes right off. So we got the AC belt off, we got the alternator out of our way. Next up, we need to go ahead, get this power steering out of the way. Our radiator is done draining, so we can go ahead and get this hose off. Get the lower radiator hose off, that's down there, out of the way. Pull this radiator out, we'll have a lot more room up here. One thing I'm going to touch on before I get onto that is actually cleaning up this intake manifold. So we are going to be relocating our boost controller away from the heat here and put it over on the shock tower like I always do. You guys will see that later. For now, we are going to get this assembly out of our way here that I was talking about. So what we need to do is take your flathead, take a bigger one, put it on the sensor there like that, and then push that button in and turn it. So, and that's how that will come apart. This is gonna be hard to show one-handed, obviously, so I'll have to wait till I have Riley up here to show you guys that. Next thing is we're gonna be pulling all these vacuum lines off of this intake manifold and this evap stuff. That stuff's all going bye-bye. I don't believe in it, don't care to use it. That's what part of getting this all clean. Please check with your tuner before you do that. Some tuners are picky and want this evap assembly on there. Why? Couldn't tell you. I've never had an issue. I delete it on, as you guys see, pretty much 99% of the builds, unless they're using a different tuner that wants it. I personally don't use it. Never had a problem filling up the car with gas or having fumes or having any weird issues with getting rid of this. So that's why I get rid of those. We're not going to be needing any of these things here. So we can go ahead and unplug all this off this inlet. Dang it, Riley, we didn't get a turbo inlet. Look. Look. So I'm gonna get this stuff unbolted off of here. I'll set you guys up so you can watch me do that. Then once I have Riley up here, I can get this assembly off and show you guys what I'm talking about. And I can probably go ahead and get this radiator out of here in the meantime of waiting for Riley. I got Riley up here. He's done dicking around with his downpipe down there. He was having fun licking it because the car was so close to his face. I got our power steering out of our way, and for those though don't know, there is a bolt right down there, and back there. So 3 bolts on it holding it. Go ahead and sit it over to the side here. No need to take any of this stuff off. Do not take that off. You will hate your life when you have to go ahead and re-bleed this. It's just a pain, so don't do it. Next up, I did undo one of these connections, but next up I'm going to have Riley go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. So we take our flathead here and we're going to put it right behind there as we push our clip in, and then we're going to pry out like that. So go ahead and pry that out and push the clip, and it'll come out of there like so. Bam, there's that one. Now we need to do the other side and we can get that whole assembly out of there. Quick, easy trick, makes these things painless. Go ahead and unplug that first, Riley. There's an extra sensor over there. We'll unplug these stupid breather sensors we are no longer going to use, but now sometimes you gotta put pressure on them. There you go. And we got that whole assembly out of our way. Bam, put that over in the pile. The pile will never go back on. Now I can get this guy off here and get this out of our way. This is where our factory boost controller is located. It's actually right underneath here. So to get this off, we need to undo a 10 millimeter bolt right there. We have a 12 millimeter hiding right away over there. And then this whole assembly will come off of there. So I'm gonna get that off, and then we'll go ahead and get our coolant reservoir off. As you can see, I did go ahead unconnect our 2 hoses coming from our radiator already from there, so that way I could get the power steering out of our way. To get this reservoir off, we will need to go ahead and grab this coolant I can't speak to the coolant hose that goes to the turbo. Pull that off, pull these two 12mm bolts out. Then there's a nut hiding over here. Then we need to take that off, and then we'll have a hose assembly down here. That's how this comes off. I'm gonna get this off, get that off, and then we'll jump into some of this wiring on here. From there, we do need to get our air pump off here. I'm gonna have Riley jump on this right now. There's gonna be a 12mm bolt there. We have one clip right here for it that we'll need to undo, and then we have one little squeeze pliers deal right there. So we'll hold that after we get the other bolt out, and this thing will just slide out. So he's gonna go ahead and get that out of our way. Then we can get this radiator out of our way, and we're already pretty close to getting this dang motor out of here, eh?
Sweet deal.
So easy as that. Let's get to work. Alright, time to put the plug back in the radiator, because if we don't, then we'll forget later. So I'm gonna bring you guys under here with me, see if this thing will adjust as I roll under here. This plug that I take out goes right on the passenger side bottom of the radiator, just like so. Phillips head or a flat head in there. We'll go ahead and tighten that guy up. Now we got that tightened, might as well go ahead, get our radiator fans disconnector. Boom. Then coming over to the driver's side, there will be another one right above the hose. So we'll grab that guy. That one's undone. Now I need a set of pliers. Go ahead and get this off, pull this hose off, undo our two bolts on top that mount this thing, and the radiator comes out. This hose, it will leak out coolant after doing this, so make sure, bring your container over here, carefully pull this hose off, get it into your container, and then move up to the top. So I'm gonna put the camera aside, since sometimes this does go ahead and splatter, and we don't want that on the camera. So what I have Riley doing in the background, he's getting the front O2 sensor disconnected. It is plugged in right up here on your shock tower. He's getting that pulled down. There's going to be a 12mm bolt on your coil pack right over here that you're going to have to loosen to get this bracket off for the O2 sensor wire to drop down. The reason why I'm having to pull that out is because we are pulling the motor. We don't want to damage that sensor on this frame rail, which is right here. And you can see how close it is with my hand. And there's a high chance you will damage your O2 sensor. So it's just better to pull it out. That way it's out of our way. We don't have to deal with it. Moving down below, if you have a stock car, you will have this shield on here. So you want to get your O2 sensor down here first, get that bracket removed that is on the coil pack off of your wire, so you can put a 22mm wrench on it. And I can show you guys, there's where our sensor is. We're going to pull that out first, and then we're going to take all the 12mm bolts off of the shield here, because we are going to need to get that off to get that up pipe off so we can put the Grimmspeed one on. So I have him doing that in the background. In the meantime, while I just got that radiator out of our way, I am going to start undoing our harness for our intake manifold. What am I going to start with? Well, I've already took off. Down here we have a crank sensor. This video will probably help out a lot of you who are trying to figure out where your sensors go. This is your crank sensor. This is what the plug looks like that goes to it right there. So I went ahead and unplugged that guy there. We have our oil pressure sensor right there. That is what the plug looks like. So that will literally just slide on there. That one's pretty straightforward and easy. Then we have our coolant temperature right here. Now I know this gets misinterpreted for these other evap sensors that are here that are also black, but no worries guys, they will not plug onto that right there. See how it just won't go on? That is going to be the larger black one right here. So that one obviously would click on there, and that is your coolant temp. So that's what it looks like. That's so you guys know. Those are all disconnected, as you can see here. The other one is power steering. This is for it to idle up when you try to move your steering wheel, so that way it doesn't die. That's what that is. Then we have our main harness plug, obviously. So we need to get this guy out of here. What I like to do is pull it off of this bracket, which if you reach underneath, probably not the best position as I'm reaching over the front of the car, but you reach underneath, there's a tab that you pull down, and then this slides out. Once you do that, you can go ahead and get to this gray connector here. And if I grab, I had a bigger flathead over here. If I grab a bigger flathead, this is how you actually disengage that clip, so that way you don't break it. But if you take a look here, now bear with me as I hold the camera, do this. So we have our clip there. Then you put your screwdriver in between the gray part and the black part, and you're gonna push in and twist. So when you do that, release, boom, just like that. And now our main harness connector is all the way disconnected. We can unplug it just like so. So hopefully that helps out a lot of you. I know that lighting wasn't very good there, but you can see it is unplugged. Now we have our main harness undone. Next step is there is a lot of sensors on these newer cars that we need to unplug. It's going to be really hard to show all of them. Some of them are going to be hard to get to, such as this ABCS plug right there. Stick your thumb underneath, push down on the tab, slide back. There you go. We got that one out. There is going to be a cam position sensor right here, or camshaft sensor. Those are freaking pain to get to as well. I've done it many times, so I'm used to putting my hand down there, grabbing it, unplugging it. As you can see, there's what the plug looks like. Got that unplugged. There's one on each side on the top and one on each side on the bottom of STIs, because they have what's called dual ABCS oil controlled cams, top and bottom. So reaching over here, driver's side is always fun to get to, but push on the clip, pull it off, boom, we have that one done. We have the other ABCS solenoid unplugged here. We do need to unplug our barometric pressure sensor here, so that's unplugged. We're going to have a knock sensor that's going to be tucked away down here underneath your blow-off valve, and probably not going to be able to do this on camera, but trying to get down there for you. Probably not. So there is a knock sensor down here that we're going to have to unplug, guys, and we have several more sensors. Obviously we do need to unplug all our coil packs. Those are all part of our wire harness. So I'm going to get those all unplugged, get the harness all loose, and then you will see me take this whole intake manifold off as one piece. So let's go ahead, get those unplugged, get these fuel lines off as well. I do have the tool that I've showed before. The company 23 tool is like 16 bucks and is well worth it, guys. You just go ahead and slide it in here, these slide off, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead, get that knocked out, and then I'll catch you guys up. Now you saw, we got the intake manifold all out of our way. We are getting much closer to getting this engine out. Let's do a time check, see how long we've been working at this. We've just been casually working away. We are at 11:42 right now. So, hour and a half in. I think that's what it was. So hour and a half in. Just kind of casually working today. As you guys saw, Mr. Crippled here. Got my finger still all messed up, so I'm definitely the slower one today. Now, we can start going ahead and getting some stuff out of our way. Obviously the motor, I mean, it's pretty easy to pull at this point. We do need to take our motor mount nuts off the bottom. Then you can see how loose those are. We need to unhook our pitch stop here, take this bolt out, loosen it there, put it up, tighten it so it's up out of our way. We do need to get the starter off of here and then begin getting our bell housing bolts off. So I'm gonna go ahead and have Riley jump down there, get those motor mount nuts out of the way, get that pitch stop out of the way, and I'm gonna have him get the starter out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and pull the turbo out of here, get that out of our way, and then we'll undo our up pipe, pull that out, and we have everything tore all the way down. And then we can pull this thing out, put our clutch in, put it back in, and start reassembling. So let's get to it.
Oh man, thanks for the creeper, Josh. Both of you.
Right?
Oh boy.
Why'd you go underneath that way?
Because I don't want to get in your way.
Yeah, but that's way harder.
Yeah, but I'm already here.
Alright.
Kinda. I'm still moving. Slowly.
Okay, now I'm here.
Oh, I should have gotten an extension. Can I have an extension?
Get fucked.
Please.
Hang on. Please hold. A while. As I get this bolt out of my way.
Please hold while your party is reached. Dun, 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 dun. Cool.
Got him!
I think I'm safe. Thank you.
Well, come again.
I could have got out, I think. That's okay. Oh my god. Dude.
There.
Oh my god.
I told you.
Are you fucking me? You want to see how loose it is?
Oh, I'm sure.
Finger tight. Like I can take it off with my fingers. It's in my hand already.
What is that, Riley?
So.
How goes your motor mounts?
It's not a good thing when you don't need a ratchet to take off a bolt. You know, I mean, I could be wrong. We could just be trying to shed some weight, you know? Go a little faster at the track, but no, thank you. Abort mission.
You're about to pull that mount right through that subframe.
All right.
So, guys, if you're doing an oil change, go ahead and check your motor mount nuts, because it is very common for them not to be tight, 19 and newer. So, just a tip. Let's continue getting this turbo off. What in the world did we get ourselves into? What is that? Why is there a hole? Why'd you have to get your motor out of your car, Riley?
It took lessons from the Evo. I'm just gonna stay positive in this situation.
What, and how bad your clutch is?
Dude. We go
That's-
hard in the paint.
It's not that bad. It's just glazed, and yeah, no, it's glazed.
Stock clutch, 5500 launch, you know.
So,
Times.
good thing we got a clutch for this baby. We're gonna go ahead and get this ACT clutch on. I'm gonna get all this stuff thrown together, get this thing back in the car, and we're gonna make some progress before we go grab some food, some lunch for today. And then we get to do all the fun stuff. Put it all together. Things all ready to go. Go feel your clutch. See how this new clutch feels.
Feels pretty smooth. Oh, it's got a little bit of ruffles on the pedal.
Get in there. As you're all dirty under your seat.
Oh God! Ah!
Is it on the floor?
Yeah.
Pull it up and go down again. And to pump it a couple
Oh,
times.
buddy. We're in business, son.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
How's that feel? Either left leg.
Good, because we don't have to pull the motor back out. Feels like a clutch should feel. Feels like my truck almost.
which is good, 'cause that's what I'm used to.
Well, now let's get everything else done.
All right.
We got the engine all back in. Everything's all hooked up that we needed to get hooked up to have this thing back in. That means the clutch works. Bell housing's all bolted up. Our heater core hoses are all connected again. Starter's back in. Up pipe is now on. AOS is up in here. We are hungry. It's time to go get some lunch, and then we'll get back on this thing, get back to knocking it out, and get this thing finished up to do first start. So let's go get some food.
Pulled up, made my appearance. You can't sit with us without clearance. That lame shit, never let it near us. And your girl will choose my team cause you still living with your parents. Flexing on the gram with your paycheck. Stop showing off them bills you ain't paid yet.
So we've been making some good progress on this thing. We got the turbo back on, wastegate set up. Obviously our AOS was already there. Went ahead and test fitted these IAG V2 TGVs because I've ran into an issue before, and I was really hoping I wouldn't run into an issue with this car. But as you can see here, I have it lined up, and there is zero way I'm going to get a fitting on here. And the fix for this, I've already talked to JJ, the owner of IAG, and we've talked about this on the other car I worked on. It does require the 19mm phenolic spacer from IAG, which would then raise this guy up to about there, and we would have clearance to go ahead put our fuel line on. But unfortunately we do not have those here, and this is Riley's only mode of transportation, so we're gonna go ahead and scrap the idea of these for right now, and that really sucks. So we are just going to use the factory TGVs on the manifold that we have. Not the end of the world as far as power goes and for a stock turbo car, but when you buy something and you can't use it, definitely does suck. And I do believe we'll be end up using just torque solution only TGVs from here on out, because I don't have a fitment issue with those. These have the bolt holes all the way down in the bottom and the center now. It's a design that I am not very fond of. It makes it hard to work on, and obviously we have a fitment issue, which for those of you watching, he said they did correct that issue. It is just in the first sets of them, and it is aware, and they will be willing to send out a set of phenolic spacers at no cost to us to fix the issue. So they have made an opportunity to fix the issue, but the problem is we're assembling the car and we can't with these. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these injectors off here, put them onto the stock TGVs. That way we can continue today, and then we're gonna continue with our mods on the car. And once we get a turbo inlet, we'll go ahead and pull these things apart, put these TGV deletes on at that point in time, and then we'll be able to use them. But for now, these are gonna go back into the box.
101, this ain't made yet. My gang never playing like we came off the same jet. I'ma need a section cause we tryna make them bottles pop. Shawty see the team and how we drippin'.
Ta-da! All finished up, all back together. Man, that was a long process.
It's quite the day.
Definitely a lot involved when you're doing this. It's not something that's just a quick do it in a day job like we show. I mean, yes, we got it done a little bit over a day now. This is the following day that we were backed out here. As you can probably tell by the weather, not as nice out today, but it's a lot cooler out. It's still early, I think it's before noon right now. So we finished this thing up, no problem. Did the first start, checked for leaks, tested everything. Flex fuel's working, fuel pressure's working and set. Everything is bled, so we are good to go. We did load the first map on it, obviously, to start the car. I'm on the second revision right now. The second revision was just cleaning up some of the new added accessories, which is flex fuel, fuel pressure, so I could set it and get rid of our evap stuff that we had on here before. So now we need to go ahead and get our wideband in the car, so that way we can show Steve in the data log what's going on with the car, so we can start tuning this thing. So now that it's all nice and hot, probably should have done this in the first place, but just wanted to hear the car start up. And we're gonna go ahead and get this thing all cleaned up while we're waiting for the next revision. And that does mean nice engine bay detail, because she needs it. She's a bit dirty thanks to this guy. Way to go, dirt road theory.
Dirt road, you know.
Dirt road anthem.
It happens, alright.
So it is a little bit dirty, but we're gonna get this thing all cleaned up. This is the final look of it, guys. And cleaning this up, unfortunately I couldn't clean it up anymore with having a factory turbo inlet and TGVs. I mean, this is as far as I could go. Checking in, we have our AOS obviously on the side here. This is where I like to mount our boost controller I had talked about before. And we did clean up everything over here, cleaned up as much as we could. Our flex wheel is nice and tucked away, so you can't really see it. But everything came out really good. Happy?
Definitely. Can't wait to drive it.
I know, right? So let's get this wideband in, and then while we're waiting for the next map, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing all cleaned up, and then we'll start tuning. Then we'll let you guys know what the final product's like, and that grin.
That grin.
We are back from getting this thing all 100% cleaned up. We got most of the tune finalized. Steve is a little bit busy today, so unfortunately we did have to reschedule for another day, but at least he has something to drive on for now. I just went ahead and kept it pretty mild for right now. But this thing, take a look how clean this thing is. Woo! That stuff works so good, guys. That intake manifold literally looks brand new, like it did from when he bought the car. Now keep it that way.
Yeah. Tell my road that.
This is just the wideband stuff in there, guys. Just cluttering it up. We also, as you can tell, moved Gray back out of the garage because it's supposed to start raining. So we moved old Knockalicious in the garage. She's pretty freaking dirty. Holy crap. I don't know if she deserves a wash or not. I don't know. You like my broken lip? I still need to get another lip ordered.
It's there in spirit.
It is there in spirit. So how is it, Riley?
Oh, 100% night and day difference. Way better drivability, way better power, way more response. I mean, I wouldn't do anything different besides maybe a rotated kit front mount and a lot more power, but for now, it'll definitely get me by.
Like I said, guys, this is the way you should go. So this is probably the route I would at least suggest right off the bat to go. And I always say that, but
definitely.
He's super happy. We're gonna go ahead and leave the wideband in here. I don't have another car that I need to tune anyways. And this thing's obviously pretty warm from driving it, so no real reason to pull it back out, just to tune it in a couple days. So we're gonna go ahead and leave that in there. He gets to enjoy his newfound wastegate that he's always wanted. That's gonna be some trouble for him. And that is probably gonna end out the video for this, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy watching this build series for him. We do have more coming soon once we do finalize the tune, and we still have one more track day. Apparently they decided to add another one. Kind of weird, but apparently they added another one on October 9th, so he is going to go out, try to run a faster time with his new setup.
I'm ready.
And maybe he'll get to race Dan. Maybe. We'll have to
Show
see.
up.
Dan didn't come out to the last track day. I wonder why. I'm going to message him actually to find out why. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next video.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane.